The film opens in 2019 on a Halloween night in Haddonfield. Corey Cunningham arrives at the Allen house to babysit a boy named Jeremy, whereas his guardians go to a party, whereas Mrs. Allen tells Corey to put Jeremy to bed early since he's been frightened from the past year's Halloween slaughter. Corey closes up putting on a frightfulness motion picture for the boy who claims not to be frightened. When Corey tells Jeremy to go to bed, he mouths off to him. Corey goes to the kitchen for a nibble but catches a commotion. He explores, and Jeremy isn't there. From upstairs, Jeremy starts shouting and calling for offer assistance. Corey snatches a cut and looks within the upper room, where he gets bolted in. As Jeremy's guardians return, Corey kicks the entryway with sufficient drive to send Jeremy flying over the overhang, crushing his confront on the floor underneath. His guardians surge to his side in a freeze, and Mrs. Allen, seeing the cut in Corey's hand, charges him of murder. 3 years afterward, Laurie Strode is living with Allison, the two of them still moving on from Karen's kill. Corey has been free after being cleared and works at a carport. His boss Ronald blessings him with a cruiser. Corey afterward rides his bicycle to the comfort store and snatches chocolate drain, but on his way out, he is drawn closer by 4 youngsters who inquire for him to purchase them brew. Corey decreases, and the youngsters at that point recognize him as the psycho babysitter. Terry insults Corey and makes him irate sufficient to smash the drain bottle in his hand, causing a profound cut. Farrah's Laurie appears up and tells the teenagers to defeat it. Laurie takes Corey to the clinic, where Allison tends to the cut on his hand. Whereas within the office of Dar Mathis, Corey thumps his gear over by mischance, causing Mathis to chide Allison to clean up. Corey notes that she shouldn't let Mathis' conversation to her like that. He notices he works at a carport, so he takes Allison's car and fixes her issue. Allison takes enjoying to Corey and welcomes him to go out with her at domestic. Corey has appeared at home living with his mother Joan, who shows up to be dating Ronald. She treats Corey like a child and is excessively defensive of him. After everybody in town labeled him a child killer, he goes to his work where he tries to appear Allison how to ride his bike. Terry appearing up with his father to urge his car settled. Laurie goes to the general store where she runs into Frank Hawkins. They show up coquettish toward one another, indicating at a shared fascination on her way out. Laurie has gone up against by a lady related to Sandra, who survived her assault from Mike, and the lady faults Laurie for drawing Michael back to terrorize the town. Allison welcomes Corey to a Halloween party where he is seen by Mrs. Allen. She is tanked and furiously proceeds to accept that he intentionally killed Jeremy, causing Corey to take off. As Corey walks home, he is spotted by Terry and his companions, who proceed to mess with him. Terry and Billy at that point toss Corey over the bridge, where he falls oblivious sometime. An inconspicuous figure drags Corey into the sewers. Corey wakes up within the sewers and tries to discover a way out. As Corey battles to free himself, Michael looks into Corey's eyes. He knows that Corey has slaughtered sometime recently, so he lets him go. When he gets out, a destitute man approaches Corey with a cut and orders him to go back into the sewer. Corey battles the destitute man and closes out, wounding him to passing. Corey goes to Allison's house to discover her and inquires her to connect him, where he clarifies what happened with respect to Jeremy. They at that point go out to supper, where Allison is drawn closer by Doug, driving to Corey about getting into it with him, until Doug goes back with his companions. In the meantime, Laurie gets concerned approximately them investing time together. Since she accepts, she saw Michael in Corey's eyes, so she goes to his house to talk to Joan. In spite of communicating sensitivity, Joan and Super Bowl Laurie over her association with Michael. Corey drops Allison off at home. He rides his bike absent and is taken after by Doug in his car. Ree goes back beneath the bridge toward the sewer, and Doug finds the destitute man's body. Corey antagonizes Doug and gets him to take after him into the sewer. Corey tries to slaughter Doug with offer assistance from Michael. Laurie goes to the bar with Lindsay, where they are shocked to discover Mr. Allen. He tells them that he doesn't harbor any contempt for Corey the way his spouse is. Mr. Allen says that he attempted to approach Corey and talk to him, but when he looked in his eyes, he felt that whoever Corey utilized to be is not there. Deb goes to the home of Dar Mathis, and she goes to settle herself up. She catches a battle happening. Deb goes exterior and finds Corey cutting Mathis over and over. Deb is found by Michael, who picks her up by the throat and spears her with his cut, clearing out her hanging there. Corey takes Allison out once more, and they climb to the best of the radio station building. When they climb down, they are found by nearby DJ Willie. He derides the two as he does on his radio appear, and he undermines them to take off. Halloween Day arrives and Corey closes up, resting within the Allen house. Gloria is there, and she orders him to remain absent from Allison. He hollers at her for setting them up and calls her a freak show, but Laurie appears to have vanished sometime. Recently, Corey can realize it. Corey calls Allison and says they have to be take off the town before long. Corey returns to the sewer and inquires Michael for his veil, which turns into a battle, finishing with Corey overseeing to overwhelm Michael and get his mask. Allison goes home to induce her things and contends with Laurie when she tries to urge her to halt. Corey scratches Psycho into Terry's car to snare him into chasing him to the junkyard. The high schoolers discover Corey's bike and endeavor to snare it up to their car and drag it. When Terry tells Billy to induce it running, he finds Billy dead with a drumstick through his eye. Corey at that point drives a van towards Stacy and Margot, making them run and climb over a fence. Margot isn't fast sufficient and gets stuck beneath the fence. When Corey drives through it, Terry goes to offer assistance from Ronald, who gives him a rifle for protection. But when Ronald sees that it's Corey, he tries to induce Terry to halt. As it were to induce shot within the head, Corey snatches Terry and sticks a blowtorch in his mouth. Corey at that point returns to his house to cut his mother to passing some time, recently returning to the radio station where he slaughters Willie's assistant. Allison tries to meet Corey, where he told her to go, but he doesn't appear up and doesn't reply his phone. Laurie tries to get in touch with Allison, but has no luckiness. She at that point calls 911 and reports a suicide. Laurie at that point takes a weapon and shows up prepared to slaughter herself. As Corey goes up the stairs of her house, he listens a gunfire and a splatter, but at that point finds it's Farrah Pumpkin. Laurie expected this and shoots Corey, causing him to drop down the stairs. Realizing he will be exposed, Corey cuts himself within the jugular. Laurie goes to drag the cutout fair. As Allison comes, domestic making it sea light. Laurie killed Corey. Allison cries and escapes. Minutes afterward, Michael returns and snatches his cuppa from Corey, who turns out to be still lively. He battles Michael for the veil until Michael snatches his head and snaps his neck, slaughtering Corey for great Ferris. Allison is heading out. She gets a call from the police, who report the suicide endeavor, and Allison realizes what's going on. Laurie and Michael at that point start their last standoff, with Michael tossing Laurie all over the put. Laurie oversees to seize Michael's cut and spear his hand onto her kitchen counter. She snatches another cut and rams it through his other hand, and after that pushes the ice chest down to stick his legs. Laurie evacuates Michael's veil to urge a great C at his confront, recognizing him not as the bougie man, but a normal man. She opens Michael's throat, but he endeavors one final assault. Sometime recently, Allison appears up and makes a difference. As Hawkins and the rest of the police arrive, the complete town of Haddonfield accumulates and takes after Laurie, Allison, and the police to the junkyard. They toss Michael's body into a compactor, guaranteeing that there's no way he will ever come back. Allison accommodates with Laurie. She chooses to move out of Haddonfield on her claim, carrying her parents' wedding rings around her neck. The final shots are of Laurie's purge house, whereas a blackout breathing commotion is listened, and Michael's mask rests on the coffee table. Here the movie ends. Thanks for watching the video. Kindly hit the subscribe button for more interesting updates from us.